I left the knock, got on trail about 10:30. It's about 12, about 3.5 miles to the shelter where we're staying. Gonna get back off trail for Saturday night and camp with Chopstick and Jake. Let's see. Yeah, so that's in 2 days. And I think tomorrow is it might be a short day. I don't know. This climb out of the knock is pretty serious. It is not easy. And it is a whole lot of uphill. I think it's 7 miles over 3,000 feet of gain. So it's quite a bit. It's pretty rough. But I'm almost there. It snowed last night, and it's been kind of slick with all these leaves on the ground. So it's been a very interesting day, and it's nice walking in the snow, and the ground didn't turn muddy this time, which is nice. The leaves are a little slick. And yeah, it's very interesting walking in the snow. And this snow is kind of weird. It doesn't look like regular snow. It's kind of like little balls. It's a little weird. I am about 5 miles out from Sassafras Gap Shelter. I am going to Brown Fork Gap. So I got a couple hours to go. Been a lot of up and down. There was like a handful of people at the shelter last night. Chopsticks and Jake were there, and 3 other guys, one who was just out for the night, I guess. It's been pretty sketchy. The snow was covering everything, and there was ice on a lot of stuff coming down out of or I guess coming up and then down from Sassafras Gap. It was pretty sketchy. There's ice on a lot of stuff. But since for like the past hour or so, the ground's cleared up and it hasn't been quite as bad. I don't know if it just didn't get as much snow or if it was warmer over here or what, but the snow isn't anywhere near as bad as it was, which I appreciate because I can move a little bit faster. I was going like really slow, about 1 mile an hour, and I left before everybody, and everybody caught back up to me, and I just passed them while they were taking a break. So we're all really close together right now. And I don't know, there's 2 guys who are walking kind of fast. I'm not sure where they're going, but the 3 of us, Jake and Chopsticks, are going to that shelter that I just showed you. I don't remember what it's called, Brown Fork or something like that. And then tomorrow we are going to a hostel. We're getting picked up at 10 a.m. and it's going to be a 5-mile walk. So I got to wake up a little early to make it by 10. And that's tomorrow. I left Brown Fork Shelter about 3 miles ago. That's where we stayed last night. It was super windy. I didn't get much sleep. I was in my hammock and my tarp was flapping hard all night. So I spent a lot of it awake. I'm getting a pad so I can stay in the shelters. I have one at home. After the Smokies, I'm getting my pad. We are going to Yellow Fork Gap, and we are getting picked up at 10 a.m. to go to the shelter. Hostel. It has a hot tub. We are very excited. I'm not sure. I think it's like, I don't remember the name. Chopsticks knows. But we'll be there tonight and tomorrow and get dropped back off tomorrow morning. It was supposed to rain today, but it hasn't, so that's really nice. My phone was at 50% this morning because I had service at the shelter and I forgot to put it back in airplane mode. But it's fully charged now, which I am grateful for. Yeah, I think it's another 2 miles, so about an hour to Yellow Fort Gap. Well, I am at the hostel, Creekside Paradise. It's beautiful here. I lost my wallet on trail. It's pretty disappointing. I am very upset about it and trying to hold it together. Steph, my wife, is gonna send me I have a spare ID, a real ID, the identification card that I had before I had gotten my license back. And so I have a form of ID, so she's gonna send it to me and we'll work on getting my cards. I was just gonna go home, but I think spending money to fly home and all that jazz would just be as difficult as staying out here and maybe just continuing to go and trying to figure out ways to pay for stuff while I'm on trail, because I don't have any other form of payment. I have my tap to pay on my phone, but I need to turn my cards off since my wallet's lost, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might add one of my wife's, maybe. Anyway, I wanted to take a video of the hostel. It is an incredible place. The house is so nice. It's on like a creek. It's crazy. That's the house. And the owner says that they've been here for about 10 years, maybe 11. Here's the creek, which you can probably hear. It is incredible. He says the water is 40 degrees year round. And they have a hot tub, and we have been going in the hot tub and relaxing. I think it really helped my feet. I think I was kind of struggling there going uphill. My heel on my left foot was hurting pretty bad. But I feel a lot better now. I think I'm ready for the Smokies. I hope we get good weather. Here's another view of the house. The hot tub's up here. We've been here for a couple days. I went back looking for my wallet today, hoping that I would find it where we had slept at Brown Fork Gap Shelter, but I wasn't able to find it. I walked 5 miles today looking for it, but yeah, it wasn't there. I'm hoping somebody finds it and turns it in, or I post it on Far Out with my number, and we'll see. But I'm just trying not to think too much about it. It's a bummer. But this property goes all the way back here. There's a little rocking chair overlooking the creek. It's a very nice place. I highly recommend it. They do breakfast in the morning, runs into town in Robbinsville. It's a great place. And we're leaving tomorrow morning and we're heading to Fontana Dam. And I think we're gonna stay in the shelter there. And then climb into the Smokies. So, wish me luck. We stayed at Fontana Dam Shelter, the Fontana Hilton. It's pretty nice. A lot of tent pads, a lot of space in the shelter. Woke up this morning. Well, last night we got Troll Magic, and some guy came by and gave us Girl Scout cookies, and it was awesome. Rot already ate all of his. I got some Thin Mints left, and woke up a little damp. I didn't use my tarp, and we're right next to water, so I was a little wet. But woke up and Fresh Ground with Leapfrog Cafe is here. And this is my first Trail Magic from him. I'm pretty excited. There he is. His arm is broken, but he's still out here feeding people. And I'm very excited. And we have a long walk today, 12 miles to the shelter. And it's about 4,000 feet of elevation gain, so it's going to be a rough day. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the Smokies. I think it's going to be a good time, a crazy adventure. Well, I wasn't expecting to get there so soon, but here I am. Great Smoky Mountains National Park, I guess. Pretty crazy. Been walking along the dam. Fresh Grounds was delicious. It lived up to the hype. I had an incredible breakfast. The bacon was to die for. He deep fries it. It's really good. He says he cooked 3 pounds at a time. And the pancakes were great, and the eggs were really good. It was just a really overall really good breakfast. Met some section hikers. Ran into some more people that I know, which is always interesting. And I do enjoy it. I'm enjoying meeting a lot of people and then seeing them again after a few days and getting to say hi to people. It's really fun. This is Fontana Dam Lake and the road into the Smokies. Have about 12 miles today and about 4,400 feet of elevation gain. So we're going to Molly something shelter, I think. Yeah, it's supposed to storm Saturday pretty bad, so hopefully I can make it into Gatlinburg before or during the early part of the storm, so I don't have to deal with it too much. Rot and I are probably going to stay together at a hotel in Gatlinburg and ride out the bad weather if we can make it there before it comes in. I'm a little worried. It was really windy the other night and my tarp held together, but it was flapping like crazy. So it'll be an interesting night if I'm stuck out in a thunderstorm. Hopefully I make it. But yep, I will talk to y'all a little farther down the trail. Well, I made it to the shelter. It was just under 12 miles. There's Rot breaking up some firewood. The shelters have fireplaces. And so I think I might stay in there. I'm going to borrow Rot's accordion pad and use my underquilt on top of it to give me a little bit of extra insulation, because the down will loft in the little holes and provide some extra R value. We have tarps up. There's the fireplace. It's gonna be a good night. I'm excited. First time staying in a shelter.
Are we gonna get it?
We stayed at Molly's Ridge Shelter last night, and it was a great night. We had a fire in the fireplace, and it was really comfortable. I stayed in the shelter on an accordion pad, and I slept fine. I was warm, so it only got down to like 45. We're going to Derrick something shelter. It's 12 miles away. I've already done about one. And yeah, and I hear that Kuohi is covered in snow and ice right now. and it is unlikely to melt by the time we get there. So that's exciting. I have my spikes and I'm grateful. We talked to a hiker and he said that if he never uses them again, they were worth it on that particular mountain. And so yeah, I'm glad I have mine. And they are a pound and they suck to carry, but they'll be worth it tomorrow. We spent the night at Derek's Knob shelter. There's a shelter. We are climbing Kuohi today. We have reports of ice and snow, but we'll see. It was warm yesterday, so. And we are doing 13 miles today. Trying to start a little earlier than yesterday, so. Yep, it's gonna be a lot of climbing today, but I think it's actually less than yesterday as far as elevation goes. I'm a couple miles from Kuohi. It hasn't been a terrible day, but I think the climb up Kuohi is like 1,100 feet in like a mile and a half. So it seems like a lot. I haven't really checked far out, but I think that's what it is. This is a completely different looking place. It looks different than the rest of the trail has looked. It is very interesting. It's a different kind of tree. I still have like 5 miles left today. And still quite a bit of elevation to go. Yesterday was brutal. It was like straight up for miles. It was very difficult. Today has been easier. It has not been as difficult. So, well, I see that now, and we'll see on the climb up Kuohi. Made it to Kuohi Tower. Climbing up it right now. I think yesterday was harder than today. It wasn't too bad. We still have 3 miles to go, but I think it's mostly downhill. So I think tomorrow is mostly downhill, and then we're going into Gatlinburg and staying at a motel and resupplying and doing laundry. Our view from the top.
I'm gonna wait until this sweat goes away. And I'll start hiking again.
Only like 3 more miles, right?
Yeah.
So we stayed at Mount Collins Shelter. It thunderstormed on us on the way in, dropping some pretty like pea-sized hail, and yeah, it was. And then it turned into a regular thunderstorm, and I used my umbrella a little bit. I'm not sure if I should have or not. It was definitely thundering. And then I was in the shelter, and there was a guy snoring in there so loud. So at midnight, I woke up and went and set my hammock up. And yeah, so now we're going into Gatlinburg. We're gonna get there and do some laundry and resupply, charge my batteries, because I am almost out of power. And I knew I wasn't going to make it through the Smokies with just 2 10,000 milliamp hour batteries. So the Gatlinburg has to be. Plus, the Smokies are hard. And so I don't think I could have gone any faster than what I did, or any farther than what I've been doing. which is about 12 miles. Yesterday we did 14 with like 4,000 feet of elevation gain. But yeah, so right into Gatlinburg. It's a short day. We're gonna get picked up around noon, and yeah, we'll see you there. I'll shoot some video of Gatlinburg. I hear it's an interesting place. Made it to Newfound Gap. Our ride should be here in about an hour. Pretty nice place. I don't think I have service here, but I'm gonna check. But it was an easy hike, mostly downhill, a little bit of up, but no big deal. Looking forward to getting into Gatlinburg. So we stayed in Gatlinburg for a few days. I didn't record much, I don't think. And we're back on trail. We stayed in for the storms that came through. It's the 17th of March, so we stayed in and didn't do much. And now we're back on trail, and it snowed yesterday, and everything's icy. It's like 20 degrees out here, maybe a little warmer now, and everything's covered in ice and snow and water. It's a nice little wintry mix. But yeah, we're going about 10 miles today, about 3,000 feet of elevation gain, and pine something shelter, I think. I'll record when I get there. It's been snow and ice for 5 miles now, and the wind's blowing the snow off the trees and into my face. Snow and ice for 5 miles. It's been pretty crazy. I had my spikes on because it was really icy, and then the ice stopped and now it's snow. So I took my spikes off because they were packing full of snow. It was raining in town last night, so that's where all this came from. Whew. It's been up and down all day. Not terribly hard. Spikes helped, and the sketchy, icy downhill that we had coming from the last shelter, which was Icy Spring Shelter, I think. Yeah, have about another 5 miles to go, and hopefully I find a place to hammock. The last shelter didn't seem to have a lot of good spots, so we'll see. It is still in the 20s. It is socked in. You can't see nothing out there. The trail has maintained an icy, snowy condition this entire time. It's been pretty slow going. Looking forward to making it to the shelter and eating something warm. I've got like 2 more miles to go, I think. So about an hour. And yeah, I'm gonna probably cook as soon as I get there. I'm not like super hungry, but I don't want to be. I think I'm gonna be hanging out in my hammock for the rest of the day once I get to camp, because it is cold up here and I don't want to be, unless they have a fire. If they have a fire going and there's not a ton of people, then I'll hang out in the shelter. But if there's no fire and there's a lot of people, I'm setting my hammock up and hanging out in that until it's bedtime. Not a whole lot of visibility. The sun came out though. You can barely see across the valley. Got another mile or so. I have snow on my beard. I think Rot might want to push to the next shelter. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I might if he does, but we'll see, because it's early. It's only like 2 o'clock and only have a mile left, so we really could go a couple more hours and make it to the next shelter. But we'll see. We stayed at Peck's Corner last night and the shelter, and it was packed. It's supposed to sleep 12, and a gentleman decided to squeeze in and make it 13, and kind of kept us up, so it was a little bit of a bummer. Tried telling him that it only sleeps 12, but he made space. I've done about 8 miles today. And have about 5 to go. And it turned out to be a beautiful day. The snow is melting. The sun is out. Getting some good views. Trail's been pretty clear. There's a little bit of ice still, but nothing major. It's been a really nice day. It's not like super hot. It's just a nice clear day. The sun is out, but I guess this is still spruce and keeping it pretty covered in the shade. And in the shade there can be ice, so, but it hasn't been too bad. It hasn't been like super slippery, so that's good. Been getting some good views. It's been a good day. Looking forward to, I think I'm gonna I slept in the shelter last night, and I think I'm gonna set my hammock up if I can find a spot. I just sleep better in my hammock. That accordion pad that I'm borrowing isn't the most comfortable, but it gets the job done. Keeps me warm. But yeah, I think tonight I'm gonna sleep in my hammock, get a little bit better sleep. It's kind of a pain picking up the next day and putting away, but it is a much better sleep. So I'll probably be in my hammock tonight. I made it to the shelter. It's Crosby Knob shelter. It was about 13 miles today and about 2,600 feet of elevation gain. There's a lot of people here. Very excited to be done for the day. Looks like there's plenty of spots to put my hammock up. Well, I left Crosby Knob Gap shelter and made it to a crap ton of blowdown. Just surrounded. I can hear people on the other side talking. I don't think I can go very far, so we'll see. Made it to Mount Camerer Lookout. It's pretty incredible that they got this up here, because you have to scramble a little bit to get to it. You have to go up that way. Take a look from up there. That's the view from the fire tower. pretty outstanding. I wonder what town that is. I think I'll have some lunch up here and hang out and then head down here in a little bit. Stayed the night at Davenport Gap Shelter. It rained starting like 5 or 4 this morning. I was in my hammock and I stayed dry most of the night, and then it started blowing into my tarp and I got a little wet. Which makes me wonder if I need to swap to my tent, either my Z-Packs or my Durston. And yeah, so I don't know, we'll see. I ordered a Tensor all season, and that will come in and get sent out to me, and I'll send home my underquilt, and I'll start probably, depending on how full the shelters get, staying in the shelters. Or still in my I don't know, I might swap my hammock out for a tent. We'll see. Anyway, going into Standing Bear Hostel. I'm about 1.5 miles out. Only a few miles today, and we'll stitch together a video and post it today. So I know Steph is really looking forward to it. She's mentioned it twice now. So yeah, so we'll see y'all at Standing Bear. Last night we stayed at a campsite about 5 miles from Standing Bear Farm. Standing Bear was nice. It's not the best accommodations on the AT, but it wasn't bad. And they're pretty cool people. We're going to Roaring Fork Shelter. So it's going to be about a 10-mile day. And yeah, I didn't make a video. I'm sure Steph's going to be upset about it. I'll start editing together some stuff tonight probably, and post it next time I get to town. So I made it to Hot Springs, staying at Elmer's Inn. I believe that's what it's called. Had breakfast at the diner. It was delicious. Yeah, the tavern I think is closed today, so we'll probably pick up something to drink and hang out at the inn. They have a music room, and it's $35 a night, and you get individual rooms, which is pretty cool. Yeah, me, Chopstick, and Rod are here with a couple other people we met on trail. But yeah, I'm gonna edit some videos, and if they have Wi-Fi, I'll post it, because the cell service is not great. But if they have Wi-Fi, I'll post a video. We stayed at Elmer's last night. It was a really fun place to stay. There was a lot of people here. We had a good time last night. The backyard's pretty nice. We bought a Frisbee, and we've been playing Frisbee in the backyard. We're walking to a campsite today. It's 8.5 miles from Hot Springs, 3,000 feet of elevation gain. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. We had a good day yesterday, and we were talking about everybody's plans for the future, on the trail anyway. And I've been thinking about going home. It's pretty rough out here, but after talking to Rot and Chopstick last night,
I think I'm gonna try to stick it out. It's really difficult, but you know, I'm enjoying myself. It's just very hard. so but yeah, I'll post this video and try to record a little bit more at the places I stay. But yeah, so it's gonna be a good day. It's beautiful out here. It's 7 in the morning, and it's already a beautiful day. So looking forward to getting back out there.